I have a serious case of FOMO, fear of missing out, and it's bankrupting me. I spend every weekend and weeknights out with my friends, spending obscene amounts of cash just to keep up with their lifestyle, from caviar bumps at dinner to splurging on $20 cocktails. This lifestyle is draining my bank account. I have mummy dysmorphia, and when I'm with my friends, I think that I have, or I act like I have, more money in the bank than I really do. My philosophy has always been you always live once. You can't take cash with you to the grave. I don't want to regret not splurging on finer things when I had the chance. And I'm convinced in this economy I'll never own a home anyways, so why not spend my money now? But at the back of my mind, a part of me wonders if I'm setting my future self up for failure by burning through my money today.
Yeah, that person will end up in a very bad situation, primarily in credit card debt, and have a very bad outcome. And so it's almost like an addiction. You should not be doing caviar bumps if you're going into deficit every month. That's crazy. And so you need an intervention almost. The way to solve for that problem is a very simple test. You take 2 pieces of paper. You don't even need a computer for this or your phone. And you simply list all your income sources in a 90-day period. And you get that from whether it's side hustle or your paycheck, your pay stub. But what is it you bring in every 90 days in income? And so you take that total amount over 90 days. You have to do it over 3 months. Find out what that is. Do the same thing on your expenses, including the caviar bumps. Over the last 3 months, you get that from your credit card receipts. And if the money you're bringing in is being outpaced by the money you're putting out, the difference is the end of you, because you're financing that at 23% in your credit firm. And so you got to get yourself to a place where first, in the recovery, you should break even. So whatever that modification has to be, whether it's cheaper drinks or no caviar bumps or going out less, whatever, you have to start at a break-even zone. Then once you reach that, then you get into a new mode where you're going to pay down any existing debt, primarily credit card debt. So you actually cut back your spending by 15% in an austerity program, whatever that is. And then you take that difference and you immediately pay down all of your credit card debt. That might take a year and a half, 11 months, whatever it is. And after you reach that, that's where you have a stable situation. You have no debt. You're not spending more than you bring in. So now what you do is you find a way to cut your spending by another 5%. So you're actually 20% every month in a positive cash flow situation. This is in the case that you want to buy a home, because you need a down deposit. And then what you do with that 20% is you bank it, not in the market, into a savings account. And those are, in some cases, yielding 2.8, 3%. But you're trying to get a cash hoard for the down payment on your home. And you're taxing yourself with a tariff of 20%. And then after you bought the home, you now have a mortgage. You have to make sure you pay that mortgage. The house should not be more than 1/3 free cash flow, because you've already done the calculation. And then the last phase is you keep 15% each week and you put it in the market. So you own a home, you have a mortgage, you're paying that down, but you're putting 15% into the market because you're not outspending yourself with caviar bumps, and you're building a portfolio for retirement. And you could do all that within 24 months. And when you start on that journey, you'll be surprised how fast you start accruing money. And then you'll set yourself free when you're 65. That's the plan.